Hey there, folks. This is the Lon Chaney Reviewer. A week or two ago, I posed a question that which one of these three films would you like me to review? And from the Facebook, YouTube pages, overwhelmingly, I Married a Witch won out. The other two films were La Ventura and House from 1977, which will eventually get their own reviews. But today I'm reviewing I Married a Witch, which I viewed through Hulu Plus. Through the Criterion Collection, because the film will be a part of the Criterion Collection this October as a quote-unquote bare-bones title. Now, the film is directed by René Clair, also a well-known French director who also directed Les Millions, a charming musical comedy that's also in the Criterion Collection on regular DVD. The film is made in the United States, and the film is 71 years old, from 1942. And it takes place in contemporary times for that period. So the story goes like this: you have the character of Jennifer, who's a witch, played by Veronica Lake, who is burned by Woolley, played by Fredric March, and she places a curse on Woolley, stating that for all eternity, he and his descendants will be unhappy in their romantic life. And we see brief but informative flashbacks that is indeed the case. Each one of his ancestors, they're also played by Fredric March, are indeed unhappy with their love lives, and then we get to the present, and he is running for governor, and his fiancée is only his fiancée because his future father-in-law is helping Fredric March, or now Woolley, to win the election and become the next governor. Then, after so many years, Jennifer and her alcoholic father, played by Cecil Kellaway, escape from from underneath a tree that kept them out. They escape, and they take human form, which is rather amusing. And Veronica Lake is the human form for Jennifer. The one way I can really describe this character, especially at the beginning of the film, is like a little girl as a sexy woman. She's very, she knows she knows how to work Woolley. She knows how to manipulate him, but at the same time she acts all innocent and charming and adorable. And she's Veronica Lake. She's incredibly photogenic, and her performance works for the film. And likewise, you have Fredric March, who plays kind of like the straight-faced character, no nonsense type of guy. And it contrasts very well, in my opinion. Fredric March happens to be one of my favorite actors. I first saw him in Best Years of Our Lives, and I absolutely loved him in that movie. I really love that. He's as a character of the war veteran who, can't really connect with his son, and couldn't really connect with his superiors at his workplace because of the war, what the war had done to him in some ways. But I'm not talking about Best Years of Our Lives, which really deserves a look. If you haven't watched it, you really need to. Great cast, one of the best movies I've ever seen, and really one of my favorites. But besides that, let me get on to I Married a Witch. I apologize. Part of the driving conflict is that Fredric March needs to get married to his fiancée, played by Susan Hayward. Otherwise, he looks bad to the voters. And that's basically what happens. But through mishaps and accidents and circumstances, it turns out Jennifer falls in love with Wallace. As Veronica Lake falls in love with Fredric March, and so now she's kind of tortured because now her father, Cecil Kellaway, the character of Daniel, wants to keep them separated and wants them to, suffer. and it's interesting. The special effects are somewhat unique and interesting. For the effects of the characters of Daniel and Jennifer, there's smoke, and they appear in front of the house, and they go into bottles and things. They poof into bodies, and it's rather interesting and amusing. The climax of the film involves a flying car, and when the car is actually in flight, it's like a miniature. It looks like a miniature, and it looks rather good, I think. But what really carries the film are the performances. Are the main performances: Frederick March and Veronica Lake, and notable mention to Cecil Kellaway, because he makes a pretty good villain. And there's a certain shot in the third act of the film that I really liked. It was like it's kind of weird. It strikes you in a weird way, and I really like that. I didn't like that things were kind of resolved at the end. There's a certain way I wanted it to end, and if you want to know how I wanted it to end, just message me. But you know what? It works, and I'm happy that the characters got together. So, I'm not really spoiling anything, because a lot of these movies are fairly predictable. But there is a little twist on it, I will admit that. Or a slight twist, I should really be saying. That's really all I have to say with the film. It's a decent black and white, Hollywood film, 1942, directed by a French director, so it has some more magical sensibilities than a typical Hollywood romantic comedy would. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the more fantastical elements in the film. And I might be picking this up on Blu-ray, because I sense that the Blu-ray transfer will be superior to the one that's on Hulu. And there's also an audio interview with Renee Claire, an essay, and of course there's the really nice cover art. And this makes you want to see Sullivan's Travels, which also has Veronica Lake and Joel McCrea, because this is the first Veronica Lake film I've ever seen, and I want to see more. So that's about it, guys. I really like the film. What are your thoughts on the film? And if you haven't seen the film, I'd say check it out. I don't know if it's in the public domain or not, so you might be able to watch it on YouTube. But it is coming to the Criterion Collection on DVD or Blu-ray in this October. I think October 8th, I want to say. I don't quote me on that, but it's like early October, in time for Halloween season and all that stuff. Or if you have Hulu Plus, you can check it out on Hulu Plus, along with a lot of other Criterion titles. I'll see you guys later this week for Silent Film Saturday, when I review The Passion of Joan of Arc. It's been real.